13-year-old, 16-year-old. These are the persons who are committing it. Not the conventional thief, not the seasonal thief. Usually we say that you put somebody in the jail and after some time he comes out as a seasoned, criminal and all that. These persons have not even known what jail is. They don't know the spelling of jail. But crimes are being committed. This is the Indian legal scenario. I am sure that you are all aware of that. Starting from the judicial first class magistrate, I am not talking about the Tahsildar, village officer, etc., etc., but the then chief judicial magistrate, etc., etc. District court, you got tribunal, special court, then high court and the apex court. Here, the Information Technology Act has brought in an appellate authority as well as then a first appeal to the high court. The difference between this first appeal or it would rather like a second appeal, I'd say, like, is that question of facts can also be looked into, which is otherwise impossible in a legal system. These are the different stages of development, not of human beings, but from a mere usage of slate number one, abacus. Yeah. From there now what we have reached. Earlier computers used to consume rooms. I'm sure that you would have seen the photographs at least of earlier computers which used to take rooms and rooms. Now, I don't know, yesterday somebody showed me a camera which can be just pinned here. It's only a dot. I don't know how it works, but it did work. Now, evolution of law, as you all know, is addressing the felt need of the society. When the society develops, the demand comes and finally the law comes. Here the difference is that technological advancement has required or demand change in law. So, we got a problem. The other thing, when the law comes, the population or the people or the finally on whom it has to be made applicable are prepared for it. Here, they are not prepared because it is only 50 lakhs or some, mobile users number
50 crores.
50 crores. Compared to the teeming millions, it is not a sizable population. If you take the average of the total population, now the number is so much. But when the Act came and the progression of the Act, is the number of internet users, if you take, it is a small percentage. Whereas the government of India would like to see that each and every individual uses. How many of you had been to Bangalore? Have you ever tried booking ticket for the Rajahamsa or for that matter, KSRTC? It's also KSRTC. Here, we'll have to stand in the queue, muzzle our way into it and see to that we receive the ticket. There, in city itself, there are 33 counters wherein you can just see the entire bus is visualized. Which seat do you want, they ask. You can choose the seat. But still, you don't feel like traveling because it is traveling. No, that's a basic psych. There is no way you can change that. If you want to get something without sweating in the wrong sense, like standing in the queue and muzzling our way and then we are very happy. The day is ours. From that, we like to change. We like to change that we should be able to understand and assimilate in ourselves that sitting in our home, we can pay tax. We can book for tickets. We can do almost everything. Otherwise, we require agents or we should stood in the queue. Here, the new Act had to be brought into because we are signatory to the UN Citral, the United Nations, that's known as United Nations Commission on Industrial Trade Law, adopted model law on electronic commerce, 1990s, India signatory, has to revise its laws as per model law. Not the other way around. That, you know what a constipation is? No, not the actual constipation, of course. I am sure that you might be suffering from that as well. It is defined as a square meal in a round stomach, the edges meal. So that is why it is. That's it. Likewise, here a law has come and we are trying to adjust and evolve according to the law. So problems will be there. There will be casualties and there will be also certain, at times we may not be able to, we may have to justify certain things that everything is not as planned, etc. That is only because of the teething problem. But I am sure that it will all go away. The speed at which it goes, even the Christ cannot stand on the cross because of the speed at which the technology is moving around now. The paradox is this. Usually law evolves, modulates and adapts. Here we have to evolve, modulate and adapt. Hence need for sensitization and education and workshops and seminars of this nature. I hope each and every one of you, once you walk out of this hall, may be able to disseminate at least fraction of what you have heard today. That will serve some purpose. Power against your patients. It's not a competition. Nobody is going to give me an award. But once three of us have put in whatever knowledge we could gather from our experience as well as expertise, we are sharing with you. So that in the fond hope that you may also do the same thing. College is not as a place of accumulation of knowledge. Why? When the student in the first year comes, he comes with some knowledge. The final year guy takes out no knowledge. So the knowledge accumulates in the college. So let us take something out of the accumulated knowledge and do something. Okay. Then computers, positive side, negative side, but it was a challenge for the lawmakers as well. The existing legal system was essentially paper-centric. Whenever you go to a court of law, first question, regi undo. Do you have a document to show that? Nothing can be done. Why? Because it's only because of ourselves that such a system came in. In the early days when no paper was used, men used to stand by the word. Men, I meant both women as well. So people used to stand by the word and there was no need for any paper, etc. Later on, the first thing what you do is that given an opportunity, you repudiate. You say, no, I am not. What is it? Might be a spelling mistake or something like that. I know. But then the concept of reducing to writing came. Even then I'd say that, no, I did not fully understand what I wrote. Then the concept of attestation came in, wherein you want witnesses. Even then people say that, no, it was his guy. Then the concept of registration came in, wherein a government department is constituted, wherein you have to go and register it. Apart from that, exchequer issues wherein the money is going to the government by your registration fee, stamp back, etc., etc. It also gave an authenticity to the document. It's all because of the basic infirmity in us or the basic quality in us to repudiate and to speak to our advantage, even forfeiting what the truth is. If you are to enter into an agreement through the net, how do you prove it in a court of law? I'll just simplify. I'm not going to run through all the 70 slides and all that. We'll just finish it in 15 minutes. I'll just confine to that. If I enter into an agreement, like I said with this gentleman regarding the sale of my laptop, if it is true, I send a mail to him. What is a contract? We'll come to that. That's the best thing. What is a contract? What is it? Agreement between two persons is a contract. Okay. I got somebody from my side. Okay, offer acceptance. Okay, then. Do you require a paper for a contract? Should be written, right? Without writing, you can have it. What's that? Express and implied. Okay, implicit is implied. Okay. Okay. If I am to make a statement basing on what I got from you, that a contract need not be written. Is it right? All of you agree with me? That is wonderful. That is a correct legal position also. An offer is made. If it is accepted, it becomes a promise. Any promise supported by consideration becomes an agreement. Any agreement enforceable under law is a contract. Where does paper come in? There is no concept of paper in that. Paper came in because of the difficulties I said earlier and the anxiety of the state to get some revenue out of your domestic relationship. The state has to run. It cannot just mint money. So if it has to run, money has to come in. Tax. Even next time you can think within 5 or 10 years, even for smiling they will tax you. Whenever you smile, 10% tip. Okay. Good sound. Okay. The preamble of the act. Why this act? We talked about crimes, we talked about punishment. Do you think Information Technology Act is intended to punish? No. The primary crime, or rather I'd say offences and penalties are only incidental to Information Technology Act. The primary concern of information technology is to promote and implement e-governance. The preamble of the Act says, An act to provide legal recognition for transactions carried out by means of electronic data interchange and other means of electronic communication, e-commerce. Uses of alternatives to paper-based methods of communication and storage of information facilitate e-governance. This is the only purpose. It is not like Indian Penal Code or even Domestic Violence Act, etc., etc., etc. We have got numerous acts where it is primarily intended to punish. Here it is not punishment, and my statement is even more correct because of the latest amendment made. The entire punishment mechanism has been whittled down so that the primary concern of the digital divide could be answered. Earlier 1 crore was mentioned as the damages to be given. Now after the amendment, the money aspect 1 crore has been taken away, saying that adequate compensation can be given. Otherwise think every time you do something 1 crore, where do you get this 1 crore? These are the enabling provisions of the Information Technology Act. Legal recognition to electronic transaction record. Previously, when I started practice in 1998, etc., if you have to produce some computer printout regarding some accounts or something, the court will laugh at you. This you can print again and again, you can change any time, whatever you want to do. You can't. I used to bring first the voucher, then it is entered, I should reflect it in the journal. Journal should be there in the allocation register, then it should be there in the ledger, and finally I should say whether it is single accountancy or double accounting system, and end of the day I should also examine an accountant to show that this is the proper way of properly maintained in the regular course of my business is concerned. Then and then alone the court will accept my accounts and a decision will be passed. Now, because of the intervention of the Information Technology Act, if it can be shown that the mechanism you have, the computer you have, the computer system you have can store and retrieve data without the risk of being tampered, and a section 65B documentation or certification is there, it is accepted. Shall come to that again. These are all the enabling provisions. This I wanted to show you because unless and until you heard 3 presentations, now it is just like seeing the skeleton. You know it's a human skeleton, but the magnitude, the size, etc., for you to completely understand and comprehend, you should have a holistic picture of the entire issue. It is not just seeing the crimes. It is not seeing the punishment. It is not just learning the letter and spirit of the act, but the purpose for which the act is coming to. Do you think that before Information Technology Act came, all these offences cannot be punished? Whatever punishment is now being imposed was also the only thing is that it was not prefixed by the word E. Defamation, E-defamation now. Murder, which I said, E-murder. The offence is same, the crime is same, it could have been very well conducted, committed, and finally the decision rendered by a court of law with the existing legal mandate. But a new act was brought in. The new act was brought in because the legislature wanted to remind the law enforcing agency, the investigating agency, and the law dispensation agency, this is the judiciary, that we are not here just to punish. We are also a nation building process. Digital evidence takes in almost everything. In Pramod Mahajan's case, SMS was also used. Simple concepts regarding civil and criminal. I am sure that you will be aware of it. The court is not concerned about the truth. The court is concerned only about evidence. If you have evidence, the court will believe it is 12 midnight now. If you can prove it with some scientifically and legally acceptable evidence, if I am to prove and establish before a court of law, this is 12 midnight. The judge has got no other option but to write a judgment in the given circumstances. In the something every Hindi movie earlier you will have the same dialogue wherein sabuton ke something